Okay, this video is gonna be actually a hard video, but I will try to give my best, my exampling you what MK Ultra feels, what it looks like. Okay. For that matter, are you gonna see Mike Tyson in just one example in a few minutes? I'm gonna demonstrate you when he was subject to MK Ultra, what MK Ultra does to a person. Now, what he was subjected to, this is just, in his case, one out of maybe 1,000 unpleasantness I have experienced. Alright, so what he have gone through, you can see him what that looks like. And if you would multiply probably that with about 1,000, then you would probably get an idea about unpleasantness I have gone through. And he's got every reason to be pissed off. I'm going to try to give you, by using Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, for example, what MK Ultra is. Okay, so that you're gonna feel me. Basically, you're gonna maybe for whoever did not undergo this procedure, for the first time you're gonna actually feel. I'll try to make you feel, like exclusively make you feel. Translated, understand what it feels like to be subject to MK Ultra. What, so that, listen, I had people punching me because they didn't believe that I am actually drugged up and completely defenseless. And it didn't happen once. I would give a smart response if I was challenged, let's say, with a common question. But MK Ultra is a mess, really. This is, and I'm gonna say also that also depends on a case. This case, no. This case went on me being subjected to drugs, well, from 1995 to May 2006, August 2006. Basically all the time they got to me. They got me on MK Ultra. It went on like on a regular basis. Once I left the US, then it would not be so frequent, but it still repeated, and the whole thing went on for over 23 years. So the case of someone out there, like you're gonna see Michael, it completely differs from situation of my own. For instance, let's go to this video so that I demonstrate you. I really want to do this as professional as possible, so to give you a good idea, a taste what exactly MK Ultra is. Pay attention to this, please. This video recording you're about to see next, it actually he was in Europe and he had a good time. He had too much good time, and they gestured that not because they would want to hurt him, but they were really concerned that his boxing career is coming to an end. And they were also concerned for me because Mike Tyson was involved in a case. He got involved in a case, maybe really through Donald Trump, I have no idea. I did mention to you a city in Poland. Władysław Śląski. That's next to the Czech border. Władysław Śląski. When I would come with Chris, that's with a son out of wedlock from Donald Trump, and I would get Chris really quickly special attention in the city. Well, because it was like, this is a new city. He was happy he got away from previous city. I actually think that was actually maybe even 98 that this happened, the incident. 98 probably, in Władysław Śląski with Chris. And he was really happy he got away from Łódź, from other areas, into this city that this supposed to be is going to be like, we're going to start like over, and he would like to have a peace here and this and that. And I understand I did steer him, all kinds of problem. I would go there and there was nothing listen to do other than to watch the walls and stuff like this, buildings, houses, and something I didn't want to be in this stuff. I wanted to get out of this stuff. I didn't want to have nothing to do with MK Ultra. It would especially piss me off because people, rather than helping me out, they would restrain me. They would laugh at me. They would not call the police like I insisted. And if the police somehow came, the same thing would repeat. They would actually play with me and stuff like this. Like they wanted to kill God in me. They wanted to kill in me basically any will for life. What a German chancellor later on, Angela Merkel, was. She had a blast out of that. She had a blast out of killing a human will in a human being. She started to develop psychology based on assumptions, on a negative assumptions from MK Ultra. They would start to brainwash you. You're going to fail at this, you're going to fail at this, and if you do this, what happens? Nothing happens. That's right. And if you do that, what happens? Nothing happens, and so on and so forth. I wanted to be out of this as fast as possible, and uncensored, I'm going to tell you I didn't give a fuck. I would go out there and insult you in such a way that the more that I felt that I can hurt you, the more of a specialty you would become. I would start to profile under MK Ultra and target people psychologically for every good reason, for all the good reasons, for every right, if anybody ever had one. This bullshit from the people, not only politicians, took away from me 26 years of life. This goofing around of yours. People became more criminal than politicians alone. Somebody wanted to have a sex, either with a girl or with a guy, they would bring me in between and make me do something bad or something, and then they would find a way to apologize, whatever, rationalize their indecent acts. And it was the same with financial transactions they did and all kinds of stuff like this. It was disgusting, really disgusting. Around the most disgusting individual in the world, Donald Trump. In Władysław Śląski, Chris, son out of wedlock from Donald Trump, got in trouble with locals because of me. Eventually developed a taste for him. It appeared that he was so sweet to them they would actually wait inside of the supermarket for him before he would even decide to go there. You know, and on the corners, and it was just they like glued on his ass. And I actually believe this is how Mike Tyson found himself on a picture in Poland. I think Donald Trump, this is how Donald Trump got him in. Or it could have been that, I have no idea, it was other people too. Michael Jordan was involved in this stuff. It was NBA people, big people, the biggest players in NBA. My cousin Sasha Vujacic, this is how he got into NBA, literally. This is how his career developed. This is how he came to the US. This is how the door opened to him in NBA, into world of NBA, Hollywood and so on. But I think this is really how he got, at least. This is what I think. I think it was meant more like a joke that, you know, that curiosity was that brought Mike Tyson to see what's going on, and that he was trying to like kind of intimidate. And they said that we got you a bodyguard now. So they're gonna take you more seriously. By that time I already got beatings and all kinds of stuff. But still, I didn't care really. Anything is better, including beatings, than staring at a wall. Like a mental patient at age 26, 27. Anything is better than brain killing like this, electroshocks and stuff like that. Anything is better. Anything goes. Mike Tyson then soon realized that, according to him at least, maybe he wanted to be comical. I think Mike Tyson is a really positive and comical person. And he's a really good person. He's a really good-hearted person. He is maybe, of all these people, I think, definitely in my opinion, the most humane person. And he is like, he's a very, very unique person. Not only because of me, maybe I shouldn't mention this stuff. He did mention psychologist, and I think it was actually the only guy who actually also took care of her. There was nothing else out there, really. Nothing wrong with it, really nothing wrong with it. Mike Tyson was 100%, he was certain that I'm gonna somehow make it. He just, he would not walk away from this case, even that I was totally, as you're about to find out, totally impossible. I didn't want to be on the picture, and really, I figure out that the more that I'm unpleasant, surely enough, the more they're gonna get pissed off and eventually quit from me, and I'm gonna be liberated this way. And this was just because of the parasite like Donald Trump, just a terrible mistake, because this is what they were catching into through this negative stuff. They were abusing more and more people. A British Crown eventually ended up abusing all people on Ireland. You know, a lot of bad stuff happened. Really a lot of bad stuff. Now Mike Tyson realized that after, I don't even know if it was a confrontation or something like this, if it really was anything like that, eventually that some kind of a bodyguarding me under MK Ultra was just not really affordable, not even for him. I don't know, was it meant to be comical, whatever it is. He said it's going to be the whole city that like this, that I'm going to have to defend, and so on and so forth. It doesn't work like this. So that Mike Tyson would go and do the stuff like this is also not really realistic. He had other deals more important than this going on. So this was more like a joke, more like that kind of stuff. But he expressed great interest in it. And one of the qualities about Mike Tyson was that he repeatedly believed about, and to me, that I am not insane. Because Donald Trump claimed that I'm insane. He claimed that I was insane. Also treated me as an insane. This is now more than ever an issue pops up when Mike Tyson gets on the picture. And Mike Tyson has some kind of philosophy, a personal philosophy, that no one in this world really is insane. His philosophy is that everybody is sane. And that I'm sane too. Well, the problem with this was there's just that Mike Tyson probably all through, I think, correct a lot about this stuff, did not exactly understood himself what MK Ultra is. And so I don't know who that journalist is, but they told me they're going to set him up, they're going to throw him an MK Ultra so that he will first learn what MK Ultra is. So that he possibly could even understand me about what MK Ultra is.
I was paranoid that everybody was going to hurt.
Mike, Francois both a 6-1 underdog. Are there any concerns on your part?
I don't know anything about that. I don't know nothing about numbers. I just know what I can do.
You can actually even hear Mike Tyson. I don't know what year was this. I would have to go and lose some more time. But you can hear him talk like Donald Trump right there. I don't know nothing about this. I don't know nothing about that. This and that.
How about
Kill this mother.
Okay. How about the 19 months off?
I told you about the 19 months off. The 19 months off was like a huge concern. They started to imply to him spend a lot of time in Europe on this MK Ultras, having fun. He was just having a lot of fun, not only in Europe but in the US. His life turned into a fun. And yeah, when he was here in Europe, they would challenge him. They would like totally bully him that he's not gonna be, that he's finished, that he's done, that he's not gonna make it. This video, this was done toward, I have no idea what year would that be. I'm not gonna go. I don't know. This was not even early. I have no clue. Maybe this was like 2004, 2003 or something like this. I don't know. I'm just giving like brief evaluation of timing about this video. I don't have time to go and go over this stuff. And right now, when he has this interview with this journalist, he's actually going through hell because they got him, they drug him up, and they placed him on MK Ultra. And the individual, the reporter that he is interacting with right now, you can also see how he is like elevated up there and acts like from above, like a god and stuff like this. And prior to this, he was humiliated, and God knows how they brainwashed him under MK Ultra. And so this is a video where they portray him like his negative moments and stuff like this. He snapped. The thing about it is that from the beginning, when I started this stuff, I snapped too. You have no idea how angry I was about MK Ultra when I recalled what went on at MK Ultra. what kind of stuff, and you know, they have done and so on. And so this is extremely disgusting stuff that's done, and this is what he learned. This is how he got his lesson about basically what that, like, eventually what that feels like.
What about it? What about it?
Does it pose any problem to you?
We'll see. I doubt it seriously.
You take into the ring a lot of rage. Does that work for you, or does it work against you at times?
You know, who cares? We're in a fight anyway. What does it matter?
Well, for example, rage against Evander Holyfield worked against you.
Well, it. It's a fight. So whatever happens, happens.
Mike, why do you have to talk like that?
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. Do you have a problem? Turn off your station.
You know what? I think we'll end the discussion right now.
Then we could.
You got it. Have a nice fight, Mike.
Off.
36 years old.
This is what that was. Evander Holyfield situation on what exactly that does to brain. You know, basically developing the knowledge of Mike Tyson alone, what MK Ultra is, because Mike Tyson knows really well what MK Ultra is. He learned what MK Ultra is through my case, literally. This here, this is Evander Holyfield. I am sure that you know this man. This is a very sweet man. When Evander Holyfield ended his boxing career, he purchased this house here, this villa that you see right there. Now, I gotta tell you something. Just gonna do it like this, like this, like this. As soon as he purchased this villa, Evander Holyfield brought me here. This was not there, and this thing was not there. And pool was also not there, I think. No, there was no pool. The original villa that you see was with this wing right here, with this one, and with this one, and with the center residence. And what you see on the left and what you see on the right, the wings, those are all added additionally. And then pool too. Evander Holyfield. Wait, this is terrible mistake I did. Oh, let's do it again, this stuff here. Okay, Evander Holyfield. This is basically what was added to this villa, old villa. This is old villa. The villa was remodeled on the inside, and the villa had this wing here, and the villa had this wing here. The pool that you see here, and then the two wings, one on the left and the other one on the right side, those eventually were added. I just want to make sure that you see this properly. To the property, to his property. This mansion is, I have no idea, 110 or 120 rooms. But more than the rooms, it was Evander Holyfield that he went into the nose of the white supremacist. When I say white supremacy, that's what I mean, foremost Donald Trump and his crew. They didn't like him at all. Evander Holyfield got involved in this case. I have no idea, because it's impossible for me to judge him. And here basically is why. When he brought me to his property, to this property, I was drugged up under MK Ultra. He ended up his boxing career, he told me. He said, He was like this. From now on, I just ended up, it's finished. I'm gonna take care of my mom. I remember he was talking about the mom. And it's time for me to marry, to get some pussy, you know, like this. Well, I said to myself, I didn't say this to him yet, but I said to myself, this should be really good. I mean, this is a good looking place. And if it's gonna be a woman and stuff like this, and he was like really serious about it. He always wears like a really positive clothing, like white clothing and stuff like this. I said to myself, this is gonna be awesome, eh? I want to go with this guy everywhere, and I want to be around because I'm not bored and this and that. But I was wrong. I was wrong. He started to expand this property, and bills started to go higher and higher, and they started to intimidate him just like they intimidated Mike Tyson. Like, he didn't fight for 19 months, and he was not in the ring, and this and that. He quit and so on. And he figured out, oh, that's what Evander Holyfield told me, that I will be the one paying for his property. Now, the problem with this is that because they said that I'm going to get $300 billion at least for this case. This is not a joke. This is what this was. This was like a honey for a lot of people, this case. They put in people's head an idea that, which the whole thing was in such a fixation that you possibly could not go through. You could never manage through. You would really have to be I to get done what I have done. And I myself, I was drowning. I was drowning in an ocean of a total mess, a total confusion that I have never faced before in my life. It made me smarter and everything, okay? But this here with the spine, this was like, this was just, explains the whole thing about absolutely about everything, about what kind of people, you know, I dealt with, what this was all about. They don't give up. They still go after me and so on. It's not over. He wasn't the only one. It was a list of people that figure out that I'm gonna owe them. They talked about a lot of money, man. They talked about, it wasn't a people only. It was a countries that insisted where I would invest the money, I don't know what. And I was actually broke and without, you know, with a job that will pay me, if you pay me $8 an hour, well, that was really good. You know, the highest one was about $10 an hour in the US. Whenever they would allow me to get the job. The situation, you have no idea what kind of situation I was in. And so I started to dislike him under MK Ultra, Evander Holyfield. I don't like him. He had like, he did not understood the way this works until, actually I will explain now in continuation. He did not understood, man. Nobody actually understood about this stuff. Everybody was just, they all believe this. You just go and you just do something like this and this and that, and it's like this, and this is not the way it is, man. This is a long way, a long and painful way, more what you possibly can imagine. This is worse than any cancer. This is worse than anything, and in the end they want to kill you, break your spine, give you a cancer, both more. Um, it's not a good situation at all. Today I have spoken to the gentleman, actually right here from the village, who stayed without many internal organs, and he can barely walk. A political stuff that went on, you have no idea the multitude of this stuff. Probably I estimate about 50% of the people that got involved in this stuff ended up either dead, they ended up either crippled, sick, with horrendous stuff. And it wasn't here in the U.S. in Europe only. It was also bad stuff that went on in the U.S. A lot of bad stuff, crazy stuff. And so the new mansion of Evander Holyfield opened up. And sure, this was impressive, man. It remodeled everything, the interior. He took down, I think, the whole front, and I think that he built a brand new stairs. This was like the first thing that he wanted to do, like really, really impressive inside. And yeah, then he would start to bring in chicks, you know, and that's when I lost it, because Evander was no longer mine. Basically, what I needed under MK Ultra, because you're drugged up, you need attention. And he started to pay attention to the chicks. He brought some other guy, and these guys that he brought, they were all more and more motivated with the chicks, and I started to feel like, excuse me, but what the fuck am I doing here? Drugged up, watching this. I mean, you know, and I told Evander, what about you know, why don't you get me some? I mean, if you already are doing this kind of stuff, why don't you get me also some, and this and that. Then he wanted to get me eventually. Evander wanted to get me, but it was not my taste. And then he was immediately, you're racist, you whatever. Okay, never mind. It wasn't like tense or anything like this. You just don't like, you don't like. I have no idea when the following recording took place, but this is the recording of Mike Tyson. Now I'm going to give you a taste basically what I'm going to give you a taste of what exactly it feels like MK Ultra. All right, so I'm gonna reduce the size of this thing here. This is the first thing that Evander Holyfield fixed. This thing here, just before I go to that issue. This was like crazy impressive stuff. This steers this stuff. Okay, doesn't matter. Bye, we saw it. Okay, now let's go to the video and me giving you a real taste about MK Ultra, what the MK Ultra, what that feels like. What you see here, what happened here. All right, Mike Tyson surprises Evander Holyfield at a grocery store. Mike Tyson had in his frenzy that he's gonna help me out, and really this was really to help me out. He would do crazy stuff whenever they would bring me to the US. That's when he would go out there and he would do something that it would be memorable and would go on the internet they would record that stuff and that kind of stuff. So he would remind me, this is what Mikey did. And in this occasion, supposedly we would go and we would surprise Evander Holyfield and this and that, and he was all crazy about this. Evander Holyfield was someone whom he tremendously respects, loves dearly. More about that stuff in continuation. Okay, so I would be inside in car with him, and we would be coming to this supermarket, and he was all nervous. We would come, and then there was some parking lot, but I had a feeling not exactly in front of this grocery store or whatever the hell that was. It was another parking lot next to that grocery store or whatever the hell this grocery store is. And he would go also to that parking lot, and then we would come back with a car. And he plain and simple, he drove me fucking crazy with this. I did not even know what the heck he's talking about. He was talking about that he's gonna surprise, and Evander, this and that, Evander, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that. Yeah, and it was okay. I was excited for a few times. We went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then and then he would leave me in the car and then say, fuck it. Then I started to get really, really pissed off, and I wanted to be out of the picture. I had enough. I had enough of absolutely everything. The spark blew me. I wasn't sure whether he's fucking around with me. What the heck is this now that I'm alone, waiting again like brain dead over there inside of the car. This is something I hated. I hated with a passion. And the day was already set for the catastrophe because of this stuff. The video that you see here, that's the stuff again.
I want to get to the docuseries Being Mike Tyson.
Oh,
okay?
man. It's not like a reality show. Don't think it's a reality show, okay, guys? It's not a reality show. It's a reaction out of it. Why you ain't invite me for the hot dog?
So you surprised or what?
Yeah, I'm shocked. We support each other, you know. I know if I come there, that would be even more support. So anything I could do to help him, that's what I'm gonna do. Guy, you know, he's surprised. It was so awesome to get a reaction out of him.
Okay, this stuff here that you see, they did the rehearsal for what you see here, for this stuff here. The police officer involved in MK Ultra. Evander Holyfield also knew about the surprise, about coming surprise, and I know so that he knew also about the coming surprise because we would meet inside of the store, and I don't know what it was. He said, this man, this is Evander Holyfield. And I said, fuck you, fuck him, fuck this, fuck that, I don't care. Do you think I give a fuck about this and that and so on and so forth? Do you think I care about him, who he is or whatever it is, and this and that? Well, this was the worst thing I possibly could do to Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson got like a huge, maybe I even used the N-word. I might have. I'm not saying not, because I could get really, really nasty under MK Ultra that you possibly could not imagine. Yeah, just like this, just like this. And Mike Tyson was hurt. He was so hurt that Evander Holyfield said at that time, I don't know when this was, whatever it was, that we are done. Now we are done for good. he started to something play disappointed or something like this, and I went even worse. Whatever I said to him, that we're now done and that this is it. And I was like, just, I don't give a fuck about this and that and so on, and I started, why am I here, and so on and so forth. The police did some talk to me about this. They were disappointed about whatever they were doing. I can feel this pain. And then basically this is what happens here. I have not observed myself, to tell you the truth. I don't even have a time to go over and see it. Sometime while ago I would not even say anything like this, because that's the kind of stuff oftentimes, not only in this situation, they have attempted to use to gesture it's a paranoid schizophrenia, which they have labeled me, psychiatrists. Oh yes, this is a little bit different song. This is a little bit different song. This is a totally different song. Now, once I got so many proofs about this is actually real stuff, I can tell you that many times, not only next to Mike Tyson, but it would be other famous known people, they would have me next to them, they would get me acquainted with the element, then they would get me off the picture, or sometimes even stand next to the cameraman and take a photo of them and put that on the internet, and you can see it. There are pictures like this, so that I would go and say da 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 da, da and then they say no man, this guy's ill, and so on and so forth. If it wasn't for Mike Tyson, I wouldn't even go into it, really. But because it is, I go for it. I explain. This is twisted stuff, folks. And the next thing you see, okay, beside the police that threatened and talked whatever they talked, do you think I cared about this? Not even a little bit. I found myself back in Slovenia, here, right here, at this place here. I'm gonna go like this. This is like a sports area right here, our city here in Novo Mesto, and Evander Holyfield met me right here, right at this very spot here, and he told me that this is the end with us, with the two of us. This is the end of it, that he would not proceed anymore because he thinks that I am a racist. Yeah, he told Mike Tyson back then inside of this grocery market that I'm a racist. He said, you see, I told you. He said, I told you, he's a racist. He said, he's a racist. I don't want to do this anymore, he said. That's what he told me here. And then in the evening time, sometimes in the evening, Mike Tyson was completely out of his nerves. He was totally out. This is a little wooden bridge here. It's like a little play area here, but not for that matter. They would walk through here. No, this is the city. Mike Tyson talked to me like never before. It's not gonna demonstrate probably. Okay, this is already nice. This is already really cool, that at least the view I can give. It was not here, it was I think below this bridge. I think it was here, somewhere below, but on that side, on this side eventually. And he said to me, now, I knew that they were angry with me and this and that. Well, Mike Tyson said to me, he he was talking to the psychologist, Daniel Smith. He got all hyped. He was like on his toes. He said, okay, this must have been probably years sometimes. I don't know, maybe like 2013 maybe. You know, this was a newer time. He was completely out of his element. He said 2010, 2013, maybe 12. That what he did, that this is not cool, that this is terrible, that he heard about what happened, and so on and so forth, that he does not know even how he's gonna calm him down, that Mike Tyson wants to kill me, and I don't know what. I know, beside that, I knew that I did something bad. I didn't give a fuck about what they talked about. Even they told me it's a Mike Tyson that want to kill you or whatever. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. They talk to you, it's bullshit already for 20 fucking years. Do you think you care? You don't care about whatever. You don't want this shit. You don't want it. In the evening, at this bridge, Mike Tyson said, at the other bridge also, he said, I wish he said this to me. I wish that he said to me these words, whatever. I could be really the N words I have used. I have no idea what I did. He said, I wish he did this, that he said this to me. I would be less hurt, he said. He was emotionally hurt. And at the bridge, he started to talk to me about Evander Holyfield. Evander was there too. How this is a respected man, how he worked hard. He basically repeated me the stuff. And I was standing there right in front of Evander and Mike Tyson, and I said to myself, because the thing about me is I used to box, and I was fit or ready to go to professional career. I was really good, but one time it was my friend, I broke him a nose, and he was really good. And I decided that this sport no longer is for me because it was very bad, and I didn't want any more. So did I know who the Mike Tyson is or who Evander Holyfield is? Yes, I did. When I was young, I was an extreme sportsman. And so I said to myself, who the fuck is this guy here that is talking to me about Evander Holyfield, like that I don't know who Evander Holyfield is. No, folks, this is how MK Ultra is. This is completely fucked up. And I said to Mike Tyson, who the fuck are you to talk to me about Evander Holyfield? And Mike Tyson looked at me. He looks at me and he says, I'm a Mike Tyson. I'm a Mike Tyson. I'm a Mike Tyson. And I told him, you're no fucking Mike Tyson. And it's when Mike Tyson goes, I should say Mike Tyson went looking at me. He says, he is fucking crazy. He says, he is fucking crazy. And Daniel Smith, a psychologist from Arizona, goes, yes, I told you, we told you. And Mike Tyson was like, all of a sudden, he was like, confused. He was like completely confused. He was like, it was like total confusion again. All his philosophy about non-belief that crazy people exist changed in that moment. MK Ultra, this isn't something that you're gonna go and form opinion about the person, folks. This is something else, and it always depends on what the human is subjected to. You cannot judge two people. Unfortunately, even if you would have two pickles the same, if they don't go through the same thing, you can't. And there nobody was like I was through this kind of stuff. And so I am trying to make you understand what MK Ultra is, what kind of bullshit this was. Evander Holyfield was envied for his mention because people like Donald Trump, was actually Donald Trump that got him with the child support, with that kind of stuff. They started to go after him and so on. They don't like black people to own something. They don't like that kind of stuff. They don't want this kind of things. And I have no idea how much did he earn and how these things went. But Evander Holyfield eventually at one point went broke. It was his friend, I read, Ross is his name, and who also was involved in MK Ultra, that saved him. Now, this is just the way MK Ultra works, folks. I hope I gave you an idea what kind of mess this shit is. And it's still a lot of stuff I didn't say in this video alone. But I hope I made you feel that MK Ultra, this is a nonsense. This to go judge person according to MK Ultra, there's no way you can judge one. What are you gonna judge a person according to MK Ultra? That's crazy. Everybody likes good-looking women. I like good-looking women. This is just the way it is, and well, everybody's got a standard. This was my requirement basically for the marriage and something like this. In the United States of America, things did not even work out well for me. In 2006, I left the United States of America because of the stuff that went on. The chances of me staying in the United States of America, let me explain. I was evaluating my life there all along and comparing one with what went on here with the people, with their lives. I was willing to throw away and Social Security and everything behind and just go from there, and didn't really want to bring a wife here or you know, have some kind of a pain in the butt situation over there in the US, something that I wouldn't be happy with after, you know, I have gone more through than Evander Holyfield did. And Evander Holyfield, look at the age when he retired. He, according to him, did not date, he did not have a woman. This was like almost like a robot, hard-working individual that would release his youth once he retired from the boxing, basically, because he didn't have one, because this was his life. And that I would go out there and be with somebody that I would not even choose to be with according to my taste and so on and so forth. This this was just really a no-no for me, from my perspective, from my point of view. If you want to judge me according to this, you're welcome to do so, but I don't take no responsibility for any of it. Like I said, people performed so poorly in this case that in some cases, most of the time, people helped me out, but in some cases, people outperformed with the criminality politicians alone. Not that I want to say this for Mike Tyson or for Evander Holyfield, because both of these guys are really nice chaps. These are really nice people, nice as it gets. I told you. But there was people in this case, involved in this case, that I'm just gonna stop here, folks, because I don't want to spoil somebody's day or something like this. In Slovenian language, you would say "Bog se vas usmili," and some people that were involved in this stuff. And like I said, I don't want to go into this stuff. It's just really sad, pathetic stuff. All right, that's all I want to say for this video. And I think I gave you a really good idea about my personal situation, my personal experience under MK Ultra. Mike Tyson is just the guy that you want to give him a thumbs up. They set him up with that girl that claimed rape against him. I'll tell you that too. That's a plain fact. I told you about this kind of stuff, the stuff that went on. This is just being around the people like this. This is it's like taking big stakes. So they did Michael Jackson, and so they did others. Once they got him in a hospital, then according to him alone, you understand me what I said right now, according to him alone, then it's just bad luck would just broil out of the pot. You know, once they got him in a hospital, it was like the problems that they mounted at him were totally non-related to a burning hair. They just like fleas, they would attach them to him within like this, and then they got a complete control over him. But Michael Jackson was a completely different personality. Michael Jackson was like a super kind individual who was actually afraid. He was very afraid of this white world. He was very afraid for his image, how he would look like. He rather would have died than risk his public image to reminiscent only if it would look like a 1% of the paranoia you could have done to him, whatever the hell you would want to do, he would keep his mouth shut. He would never open his mouth. Yeah, I knew him personally too. That's another story. That's for another time. But this is being black in America, and it's not easy. Alright, thanks for watching this video. Till next time.